Two people, same city, same age. On the left is Sandra, a teacher who has never earned more than $52,000 a year. Over on the right is Derek. He's a regional sales manager pulling in over $115,000 annually. Both are 62 years old, looking at their retirement accounts. Sandra has $810,000. Derek, despite earning more than double her salary, has just $340,000. The math here feels completely backwards. But Derek didn't dump his savings into bad investments. He didn't suffer a catastrophic financial wipeout. He put money into his 401k every single year and lived what looks like a normal, responsible life. His problem is his paycheck. Derek lives inside a specific income band, right between $95,000 and $130,000 a year, a range where the structural conditions for building wealth start to change. Making six figures feels like a hard-won reward. You feel financially secure. But that feeling of security creates structural blind spots that make building actual wealth almost impossible. After taxes, Derek takes home about $6,750 a month. But between the mortgage on a house in the good suburb, 2 car leases, the golf membership, and dining out for a family of 4, his committed monthly spend sits at roughly $7,240. Before he consciously decides to buy anything, he is running a structural deficit. The moment your upgraded expenses require your full income to maintain them, you are no longer building wealth. You are simply servicing a lifestyle. But earners in this bracket usually feel fine because their retirement contributions look respectable. According to Vanguard's 2025 savings data, professionals in this income bracket save an average of 8.2% of their salary. That number sounds responsible. This chart shows exactly where that feeling falls apart. To comfortably replace your pre-retirement income, financial models target a 15% savings rate. That 8.2% actual savings leaves a gaping 6.8% hole. On a $120,000 salary, that invisible gap equals exactly $8,160 a year of missing capital. If you take that missing $8,160 and compound it at a standard 7% growth rate over 20 years, the math becomes staggering. That is $375,000 of missing wealth. The percentage on the 401k statement looks entirely reasonable to the naked eye, but underneath that mathematical camouflage, a massive raw dollar deficit is quietly compounding into a retirement crisis. Derek has been doing complex math his entire career. He knows how compound interest works, so why would he voluntarily spend himself into a deficit? In the 1940s, sociologist Robert Merton developed a concept that perfectly explains this behavior. He called it reference group theory. The core mechanism is simple. Human beings do not evaluate their wealth in absolute terms. We look at whoever is standing next to us, and we judge our situation relative to theirs. When Derek received the promotion that pushed him over 6 figures, he migrated into a social circle with an entirely different definition of normal. The luxury leased SUV and the expensive private school were no longer extravagances. They became the baseline expectations of his new peer group. Sandra doesn't possess superhuman discipline. She just operates within a reference group of other teachers. Bringing a packed lunch to the break room and driving an older car aren't sacrifices. They are the unpunished baseline for the room she is in. This is why traditional budgeting fails high earners. Spreadsheets are math solutions, but Derek's spending is psychological. The luxury SUV and the golf membership are load-bearing social structures, answering deep questions about status and whether he has finally made it. What we commonly dismiss as lifestyle inflation is actually reference group migration. Reversing the financial bleeding requires a voluntary step away from that social circle, which means losing your hard-earned status. Surviving the kill zone requires automated behavioral bypasses to protect your money from your own psychology. First, automate the increase. Log into the benefits portal and double the 401k contribution immediately. The money must vanish before it ever touches the checking account. If it doesn't exist as available cash, social pressure cannot absorb it. Second, institute a mandatory 90-day cooling-off period for any major discretionary upgrade. Behavioral data shows that forcing a 3-month delay on an expensive status purchase naturally dissolves the emotional urgency. Third, and this is the most difficult step, you have to change the room. Find one community, one hobby, or one regular social context with a significantly lower cost of normal. You have to biologically recalibrate your baseline for a reasonable life. For Derek, the realization hits hard at age 62. Outwardly, he won the status game. Inwardly, he is staring down incredibly painful choices, like massively downsizing his life or grinding away in the office until age 70. Meanwhile, Sandra is holding $810,000. Combined with her modest baseline expenses, she has achieved absolute financial freedom and massive breathing room. The danger of a six-figure salary lies in its size. It is exactly large enough to hide a growing retirement gap behind the feeling of finally having made it, until the math catches up with you.